Hello, this is a guide from my Widowhail Cold Conversion Spark Blood Mage. This build is some of the best clear in the game, maximum levels of fun with 300% projectile speed sparks, and surprisingly good single target. In this video I will go over all the mechanics, gear, gems, and the passive tree, as well as how to play the build and how to craft your quiver. So starting off, I will do a brief overview of the mechanics of the build. We are using Spark, but we are focused purely on the cold infused version of Spark. The regular version of Spark deals 38 to 726 lightning damage, which averages out to 382 average lightning damage. For cold infused, we deal the same lightning damage, but in addition to that, we deal 611 to 917 cold damage. This works out to an average of 764 cold damage, bringing our total hit to 1146 damage. This is triple the base damage of regular Spark, and in addition, we fire 19 projectiles from the base of 12 for 7 additional projectiles. However, to cast this cold infused version of Spark, we need to have a cold infusion. There are 3 primary ways that we are maintaining our cold infusions. Number 1 is Siphon Elements, for a 7% chance per power to spawn a cold remnant on freezing a target. This is effectively unlimited cold remnants in your maps. In addition to that, we have Snap, linked with Cast on Critical, which will generate cold remnants when it removes a freeze from a target. The last one is Frost Bomb, which when it expires will generate a cold remnant. Starting off, I'll just hover over each piece of gear in case anybody wants to immediately copy it, and then afterwards I will go in and explain each piece, what stats to look for, and how they work together. So starting out here with our weapon, we are using a Widowhail unique bow for the line increased bonuses gained from equipped quiver. In short, starting out, all you need is a Widowhail with at least 230% increased bonuses gained from equipped quiver, and you can move that up as your budget allows it to 250% or above, then eventually 280% or above for the final upgrade. For our helmet here, we are just using a rare helmet. Any base, it doesn't really matter. Armor bases give you a little bit of something. The energy shield doesn't really do anything. Stats you are looking for here are going to be life, followed by resistances, and then followed by any other line with crit. Crit chance is okay, crit bonus is okay. Our most important piece of gear here is going to be the quiver. Now, on the implicit there, it says 100% chance to pierce an enemy. This is actually irrelevant. You would think that if the increased bonuses gained from quiver line were to combine with this implicit, it would make you pierce more than one enemy. But if you have, say, 300% chance to pierce an enemy, it's still only going to pierce one enemy. Because of our gems, which I'll go over in a bit, this actually doesn't matter, and you can use any base. The most important lines on here are by far going to be +2 level of all projectile skills and projectile speed. You want a high tier projectile speed, as high as your budget allows it. At this moment, these quivers are literally 5 exalts. As for our suffix here, we have a desecrated modifier. Now, there is multiple different stats you could go for here. The one I have on currently is projectiles have 24% increased critical hit chance against enemies further than 6 meters. Assuming this works how it says it works, this means that it is counted at the point of impact of your spark based on the distance the mob is from your character. Behind me here, I have these 2 barrels standing right here. This is 2 meters and this is 6 meters. You have a couple options for your desecrated suffix here. You can either go with this one, or this is perhaps a better one. Projectiles have 22% increased crit damage bonus against enemies within 2 meters. Keep in mind, they have to be very close to you, as I just showed. As for our amulet here, we just have any random amulet. Your most important stats are going to be plus to the level of all projectile skills, followed by spirit. You want at least 30 spirit if you want to avoid having to use the soul cores of Askapa in your Widowhail, which would be ideal. I don't have it right now though. Followed by life, and then cast speed. Spell damage is okay. I just so happen to craft this one, but if you get spell damage, stat, res, all of that is good as additions. For our first ring here, we are using a Seed of Cataclysm. just get a one with a good roll. This is not required in any way for the build. Our chess piece here, for the Blood Mage Ascendancy, our final Ascendancy is Crimson Power, which says gain additional maximum life equal to 100% of item energy shield on equipped body armor. This means that your energy shield on your body armor will be added to your life, so you want to get a chest piece that has as much energy shield as possible. You can also substitute a third energy shield line for maximum life here, and that will, you know, it's effectively the same thing. Other stats you want to look for are res on your suffixes. For our other ring, we're using a Call of the Brotherhood to convert 100% of lightning damage to cold damage. This is important because when you are using your spark initially in maps, it's not going to have the cold infusion. However, with this, if you ever run out of cold infusions or at the beginning of a map, when you hit something, your lightning damage will be cold damage and you can freeze things, which will then drop the frost remnants, which will then allow you to cast Cold Spark and chain it throughout the rest of the map. For our gloves here, we have just a random rare glove with max life and resistances. For our belt here, random rare belt with life and res. Other stats you look for, pretty much nothing, just res or a stat. Boots, by far the most important line on your boots is going to be your movement speed, followed by maximum life and then resistances. For our charms here, we have a stone charm and then a silver charm. I'm using the Fall of the Axe because it's amazing, but you can also just use a regular silver charm for a budget option. As for soul core options for your quiver, if you do not have 30 spirit on your amulet, then that means that you would need to use soul core of Azkapa. If you are on a budget, just get a lower amount of projectile skills on the amulet with the 30 spirit. If you have 30 spirit and plus 3, then here are some options. You can use the 20% increased projectile speed. This is probably the best one. But there is also 8% increased skill speed, as well as 5% of damage as all elements. It is very important to know the mechanics of the increased bonus gain from equipped quiver line and how it functions and interacts with our quiver. Looking at our quiver here, you can see the +2 level of all projectile skills. This stat on Widowhail works with the +2 projectiles of the quiver to grant us a ton of gem levels to our spark. However, this stat only functions in increments of 50%. That is because numbers in Path of Exile always round down. So, if you have 49% increased bonus from equipped quiver, that will not grant you a level to projectile skills. However, 50% would be exactly half of 2%, and then would grant you that +1. I'll now go over for all the gems for the character. These will be listed in order of importance from left to right, so if you do not have all 6 slots yet, this is the order you acquire them in. Life Remnants with Harmonic Remnants 2 and Remnant Potency 1. Sigil of Power with Magnified Area 2 and Prolonged Duration 2. Efficiency 2. Spark with Pierce 3. Projectile Acceleration 3. Rising Tempest. Efficiency 2. And Rapid Casting 2. This would be replaced with Rapid Casting 3, however it is currently bugged. But once that is bug fixed, use Rapid Casting 3. Frost Bomb with Potent Exposure, Cooldown Recovery 2, Harmonic Remnants 2, and Magnified Area 2. Cast on Crit with Snap, Flame Wall, Harmonic Remnants 2, Boundless Energy 2, and Energy Retention. Siphon Elements with Harmonic Remnants 2 and Cold Mastery. Orb of Storms with Overabundance 1, Harmonic Remnants 2, Rising Tempest, and Considered Casting. This is up to change. Element Weakness with Heightened Curse, Magnified Area 2, and Cursed Ground. As for our weapon set passives, Spark is set to weapon set 1. Frost Bomb is set to weapon set 2. Cast on Critical is set to both. Siphon Elements is on weapon set 1. Orb of Storms is on weapon set 1. And Elemental Weakness is on weapon set 2. Next up, I will go over the passive tree. For our Ascension, we start out with Sanguimancy for free. Your first point will be in Vitality Siphon, followed by Sunder the Flesh, followed by Grasping Wounds, and then finally Crimson Power. I'll just show a brief overview of the tree. Start here, come all the way up, get everything that is nearby, this, then you come over here and grab all of this, and then finally a long path all the way over here, picking up all of the jewel sockets, and these, and then this jewel socket, and blood magic before finally traveling over here for these crit nodes. This tree requires you to be about level 85 since it is such a long travel over here, and it is also much better when you have decent jewels. You don't have to have crazy jewels, but they just have to be decent. If you don't have money for decent jewels and you are less than level 85 about, then there is a mana-based version tree that I have and will include in the written guide below. As for our weapon set passives, these red lines are weapon set 1, starting off with Sudden Escalation, then Lightning Quick, followed by Controlling Magic and these additional passives there, Storm Charged, and finally Sigil of Ice, and the crit nodes down here, Vulgar Methods and Barbaric Strength. For set 2, we are just picking up all of the exposure and curse nodes, starting with Stripped Defenses, followed by Overexposure, then Master of Hexes and Lingering Whispers, these little curse magnitude nodes here, and then this Fated End curse wheel here. Next up, I will talk about your skill rotation and how to play the character. You'll start off with Sigil of Power, followed by Orb of Storms, your Elemental Weakness, Frost Bomb, and then spam Spark, maintaining your Frost Bomb whenever it comes back up, and continuing to cast Spark. For mapping, you only need to press Spark. It is a one-button build. The only thing you need to do is press Spark. If you want some additional cold infusion generation for early on, if you are having a little bit of trouble freezing things, you just press Frost Bomb as you go, and you keep going. I'll next talk about how to finish crafting a quiver. Your quiver base does not matter. You do not need to get a penetrating quiver. The only 2 lines you need to get are +2 level of all projectile skills and a high tier of increased projectile speed with an open suffix. All you need to do is come to the trade site, select projectile speed, set a minimum value, select plus to the level of all projectile skills, +2, and then select 1 empty suffix modifier on a quiver. Then you search, and you can see all of them that are currently listed. You want to find one ideally that has full prefixes and an open suffix. However, this can work too, and I will show how to do that. Next up, you will need a few items to craft the final suffix on your quiver. So if you want the crit chance modifier, you need to get a modifier of Kurgal. If you want the crit chance modifier, you will need of Anmumu. You can guarantee the crit chance modifier using the Omen of the Black-Blooded, and you can guarantee the crit multiplier modifier using the Omen of the Liege. This, combined with a preserved jawbone, will guarantee that you get the modifier that you want. So, I have 2 example quivers here. One has an open prefix and an open suffix, and this one has full prefixes and an open suffix. So, let's say we want critical strike chance. All you have to do is activate the Omen of the Black-Blooded and apply the preserved jawbone. If you have an open suffix and full prefixes, this will guarantee a suffix modifier. However, if you have an open prefix and you use this jawbone, it could be a prefix, but we do not want that. So, you can combine your choice with an Omen of Dextral Necromancy, which reads the next desecration attempt will only add a suffix modifier. You could use this Omen, combining with, again, whichever Omen you want, select it, then use the preserved jawbone, and it will guarantee the suffix modifier. This one is going to be the Anmumu modifier, which is crit multi, and this one is going to be the Kurgal modifier, which is crit chance. All you have to do is go to the Well of Souls, toss in your quiver, and reveal the modifier. This will guarantee the modifier projectiles have critical hit chance against enemies further than 6 meters. Again, with our other quiver, we reveal, and it will guarantee projectiles have increased critical damage bonus against enemies within 2 meters. And that's it. It's just that easy. So that's going to be it from me. If you like this video or if it helped you at all, please leave it a like. And if you want to see more updates to this build or builds I do in the future, subscribe now. I'm live every single day on Twitch/PathOfKY. So come stop by stream and I can help you out if you need some help. I'm going to leave a bit of raw footage at the end here, just showing a full map so you can get an idea if this is something that you would like to play. And yeah, thanks for watching.
You sensed it too, did you? The spirit is near. Follow that wisp. No time to tarry. That's the one. Put it down. I'm glad you were here.
Another corpse to serve me.
Hi, I'm Chris Wilson from Grinding Gear Games.
Subscribe now and like the video.